What's going on, growers? It's James Piccioni coming to you live from Jersey. It is a beautiful early spring day, but it's not too late to get your own seed started. Today, I want to share with you 10 tips for starting your own. Let's go! The first step to starting your own seeds is to do a little research of your own and find out if what you're planting performs well direct seeded, or if it's something you should actually be growing indoors and then transplanting out. For instance, something like your brassicas, like broccoli and cabbage, even tomatoes, peppers, those things do well when they're transplanted. But other plants, typically with deep taproots, something like carrots or even spinach, don't perform that well being transplanted, so those are better to direct sow. After you found out if what you want to plant performs well with transplanting, we'll move over to the second tip, which is to find out specifically what temperatures are required to germinate or start your seeds. For instance, something like a pepper, which we have right here, these will only sprout if the temperatures are minimum of about 55 to 60. So you need temperatures at least that high for these to even sprout. If you're at temperatures around 70 or 80, that's going to even have those sprout even quicker than if you don't. The third tip is after those seeds have sprouted, for instance, we'll go back to those peppers. If you had the temperatures high, about 80 degrees, what you want to do is lower those temperatures, because when the plants are young, if it's too warm, they'll get too leggy. On a nice day like today with the sun out, it gets really warm in the greenhouse. Let me take you inside and show you what we have in there right now. You'll notice as we move the camera down that there's just one tray in here left. That's it. And I'm going to be bringing that outside. Like in the beginning of the video, I like to bring things outside when I can because that's where the plants are going to be. They're going to be grown out there. So I want to get them used to that location. And that ties into the fourth tip. If you are growing inside or only in a greenhouse, you want to make sure you have a fan or you've got some airflow in there so they're used to it. Having airflow will strengthen the bases of the plants and again, keep them from getting too leggy. The fifth tip is to have adequate light. If you're in a location like I am, in a greenhouse, and you're surrounded by windows, I get a good amount of light in here. But if you're just growing maybe in a south-facing window, there's going to be days or even points of the day where it's very shady and you're not going to get much light at all. So if you're doing that, you might want to add some supplemental light, some fluorescent or even some LEDs to make sure your plants aren't stretching too much. If they have to stretch too much to look for the light, again, they're going to be leggy. Once the plants are leggy, you can't really save that. Unless they're tomatoes, you can bury them a little deeper. But peppers, other brassicas, you really don't want those to be too leggy. Now that it's getting too warm in the greenhouse, I'm going to take these peppers and put them down with the rest of the seeds so that they get a lot of light, a lot of airflow, and don't get too leggy. As you can see, these are short, stout, and strong. But that doesn't mean I did all the seeds perfect. Not everything works great every single time. You'll notice here some of the brassicas, these ones got a little warm when they were in the greenhouse. They got a little tall. But you'll notice I plant multiple seeds when it comes to some things like the brassicas. So this one here, we've got a short, strong one and a tall, leggy one. So I'll take out that tall, leggy one, allow that short, strong one to come through. On this one over here, we've got a few that are tall and leggy. The other one's short and stout. We'll just remove those three. We've got one that's nice and stout. So planting multiple of them can save you. Let's move it to our sixth tip though. One thing is I've got so many different varieties planted. That's one of the best things that you could possibly do when it comes to home gardening and ordering your seeds online, variety selection. That's probably my favorite thing to do. But you got to make sure you label all your stuff. So that's the sixth tip. Make sure you're labeling everything so you know exactly what you're planting. So here I'll notice I've got Black King eggplant. And on these cups, I've got a bunch of writings because I've planted multiple times in them, 3, 4, 5 times. So I always have a little secret thing to show what year it is. If I don't write the year, I'll write a little check mark. I know everything from this year gets a check, everything's labeled, so when I plan it out, I know I'm not planting too many of the same varieties. Before I get to the next tip, I just want to encourage all of you, when you're out here, either outside or inside, doing your gardening blessings or gardening chores, whatever you want to call them, make sure you enjoy yourself. Because with every season comes kind of like a different task, and that's one thing I love about it. For instance, this time of year, we're starting our own seeds. In the winter, we were doing some pruning, so I love how things change with the seasons. If you guys are enjoying this video though, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, and I need to spend a little time when I'm out here too, playing with Tuck and enjoying that, enjoying the weather, because sometimes I get a little caught up in trying to be successful of getting things done and what did I get done today, so sometimes I need to step back and enjoy the time I have out here. So on a beautiful day like this, I like to make sure me and Tuck are having some fun.
Baby, I asked you not to keep me waiting. I told you not to keep me waiting. Now the afternoon is fading on.
The 7th tip to starting your own seeds has to do with knowing your location. Know what zone you're in, know where you're at, and that'll guide you of when to start your stuff. If you want, you can even use a website that I often use, the Old Farmer's Almanac. You can put your zip code in there, it'll guide you, give you an idea of when to start your own seeds. Now let's finish these tips and I'll show you exactly how I plant mine. Something I like to do is I can locally get this black leaf mulch. So what I do is the bottom 3/4 or so of a cup, I use this. I plant not directly in this for my seeds, but this is what I use at the bottom because I know it's got good nutrition. The only thing is sometimes when it dries, it actually dries with a crust on top, and what can happen is that can help prevent some of the seeds from sprouting. So what I like to do is water it down first to get the right moisture level. And when it comes to moisture level, you want it wet, but you don't want it super soggy. So I like to get the right moisture level by just adding a little at a time, get it all mixed up. Once it starts clumping, and I know it's got that good moisture level, I'll grab a cup. You know, the cups I often use. Put the soil in just like that, to about that height. And then I'll add my good potting mix, which you usually have to buy. Happy Frog is my favorite. I'll put that at the top, say 3/4 or 1/2 inch. This way when I plant my seeds into it, it's in good mix, but I'm not wasting a whole cupful of this expensive potting soil. And that's gonna lead to our next tip, which has to do with planting depth. Another thing to think about is what you're gonna actually be planting. For instance, if you're planting tomatoes, what I like to do is I don't fill the cup up as deep with soil. This way when the seeds sprout, you can backfill some soil around it. What that does is it grows even more roots because tomatoes are vines and they can grow roots out the sides, not like a pepper.
Belladonna, have you seen me?
After I have those filled with the black leaf mulch, and again, I'm gonna come back and put in some Happy Frog. I'm gonna do that now. You'll notice my hands are nice and dirty. I'm gonna get this soil, pour it into a bucket.
Have you ever really seen me?
And then check the moisture content. So it's a little dry, so we're gonna add some water to that. Get it mixed up. We notice that's got good moisture right there. Bring this up and then fill the rest to the height I want with this Happy Frog soil. Again, leaving some area here because I'm going to plant tomatoes, where after they grow I can just backfill a little if I want.
Belladonna, are you listening? Were you ever really listening?
One of the reasons I like to make sure the soil is moist before I plant, this way I can just make a little divot in the soil and get that plant in. Let me show you a little more about the depth now. Now that we have our cups filled with all the soil and everything, we're going to want to plant some of our stuff. So first we're going to start with tomatoes. Tomatoes is something that likes to be planted about 1/4 inch deep, so you don't want to plant them too deep, but planting depth really has a lot to do with the size of the seed. For instance, if you're going to be planting like a pea or a bean, that's going to be a lot deeper than something like a tomato, which is a much smaller seed. So what I like to do is just come in and use just a little pencil, open up a small area to be able to plant that 1/4 inch in, like we have here. Then I'm going to start with a sun gold cherry. This is my favorite cherry tomato. I put this one in the ground every year. I like trying all different ones, but I make sure that I'm always putting some of my favorites in as foundational ones, because this is one that I just like and I think tastes the best, in my opinion. So we'll get some of these seeds. So we have these sun gold cherries right here. We'll just grab them one at a time, drop them in that little hole, 1/4 inch. Move to the next one. Just continue down the line. I've got 6 of these planted. 6 of these that I'm going to be planting, this variety. Some I'll put 2 in, some I'll put 1 in. So I got a couple more in my hand, so we'll just go back and add 1 more. Then I'll come back and I'll just cover the hole up with my fingers very gently, and then pushing the soil down just a little bit, not hard, but kind of leveling everything out a bit. Next, I'll make sure I label everything. It's important for all the different varieties we're going to plant. So I just will write it. I don't have the best handwriting. And then I'll put my check mark and then date it. I think it's the 24th today. I'll go back and do that for all the others. After you have everything planted and labeled, for something like tomatoes, which these are, they like to be in a warmer temperature, around 70, 80 degrees, so they sprout quicker. So last year I built a little germination station, I call it, with a welded wire, which I showed you. I'll give you guys a clip of it. So I'm gonna bring these inside and get these to germinate and sprout. Right after they've sprouted, I'm gonna bring them into the greenhouse. Because before they sprout, when they're germinating, they don't need light. But once they pop, you gotta make sure you have that adequate light. Like I spoke about earlier, when there's nice days like this, I like to bring the seeds outside, even though it could be a little amount of work to bring them in and out. But I bring them outside to get used to these temperatures. And that ties into the 9th tip, which is hardening off. So hardening off has to do with bringing your plants outside and getting them regulated to those temperatures before you transplant. So you don't have to bring them out this early like I do. I just like doing it because I think it strengthens the plant, getting used to the airflow and the wind, as you can see. But you need to make sure, say a week or two before you transplant out for good, you got to bring those plants outside to get them used to the temperature. The best thing to do is start off with the first day, only about 2 hours outside, put them in a shady location, get them used to that, and then bring them back in. And then as the week progresses, put them outside for a little longer on nicer days, then bring them back in until you feel like they can actually take all that weather themselves outside. Because if you just have your plants growing inside for the whole time and then bring them right out, they're gonna just flop over. They're not gonna be used to that, the humidity level, the airflow, the heat, all at once. It's gotta be gradual. The 10th and final tip with starting your own seeds is kind of all encompassing. It has to do with mimicking nature, mimicking those outside conditions wherever you're growing. Whether or not you're growing in a greenhouse or on a windowsill, you wanna make sure you're gonna create the conditions that are basically gonna be the same as nature. So I'm just gonna go through some of these, cut off some of the weak ones like I mentioned, keep the stronger ones, and clear out the area for others. Before I let you go, I want to give you guys a bonus tip, and that is to use mycos. This is going to actually inoculate your plants with a mycorrhizal association. I like to do it with some things when I first plant the seeds. This way it happens nice and early. So one thing to note is not all plants form the mycorrhizal association. Brassicas don't, so it's not necessary to use it, but tomatoes do. So when I'm getting my tomatoes going, I make those little holes. Sometimes I just like to sprinkle a little bit of mycos in those holes before I get the tomatoes in. Not completely necessary, and you don't need a lot, because this kind of soil that I'm using, the Happy Frog, already has the mycorrhizal association in there. I just like to add a little more for bonus. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know sometimes there can be a lot of information on a video like this, but it's the accumulation of the knowledge year after year that it really adds up together. And I want to thank everyone for all the love in the comments that me and Tucker get, and we really appreciate it. We read all those comments. We don't respond to everyone, but we definitely read them. And I want to let you guys know that starting off like this, getting seeds going, doing it the right way is how you get to success, how you get to bigger harvests. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. Me and Tuck will be back real soon.